How's it going, guys? Bring Your Platoon here, and welcome to another phenomenal game in World of Tanks Xbox One Edition. Okay, it's not that phenomenal, but it's in a brand new released British Tier 10 TD for the console version of the game, the FV217 Badger. We got a little bit nerfed version of this just because PC for this tank has 8 rounds a minute, and we get 7 rounds a minute. So that's pretty dumb. I don't know why they did that, but you can get it down to 7 seconds with, I think, around 8.3 being your reload. 8.3 being your reload time without any crew skills or perks on it whatsoever. But with them, you can bring it down to like 7 seconds. So it's pretty crazy. Let's get right into the stats of this thing, considering this is the first game I'm uploading of it, and it's pretty damn new. So yeah, let's get right into it. Your penetration for your 123mm cannon is 272 for the standard AP rounds, dealing 480 alpha on average every shot. You get 320mm of penetration for the premium APCR rounds, and 130mm of penetration for the HESH rounds, which do 620 if they pen, so that's pretty fucking awesome. The dispersion at 100 meters is 0.3, the aim time is 1.7, this thing has 10 degrees of gun depression, as well as 15 degrees of gun arc. It's pretty great, guys. It only gets better from here. Top speed, better than the Tortoise, 30 kilometers instead of a measly 20. Reverse speed, 12. I don't know what the reverse speed on the Tortoise is. Shell velocity for the APCR is 1250. Shell velocity for the AP is 1000. Not bad, not terrible. Let's go into the armor. The flat points of this tank are both of the viewports on the left and right side of the tank. These are values without any angle. 325mm of thickness, as well as that goes for both viewports, obviously, the flat parts. The very lower part of your upper plate is only 310mm effective thickness, so if you're facing flat onto Tier 10 heavies or mediums, they can load premium and pen through that no problem. However, that is fixed with a very little angling and hiding of your lower plate, because as soon as you angle just a wee bit, it goes up to 350mm of protection very quickly. So the lower plate is kind of it's not terrible, but it's not great. The very left and right side of the lower plate is 270 to 280mm of protection. The middle of the lower plate is 230mm of protection for the majority of it. So yeah, just avoid shooting this thing in both left and right, the very, very right and left sides of the lower plate, and you'll pen them like pretty much every time, unless you have a tier 8 gun, in which case load premium just for that extra sure chance. The weird angled parts in the front of this tank, there's one on each side of the tank in the front. Flat on, no angle, again, 330mm of protection, and if you, again, angle and use your 10 degrees of gun depression, you're going to have no problem bouncing anything. With the flat part, your viewports are 350mm of penetration for both of them, and then those weird angled parts on the front of your tank, or on the top of the upper plate, I should say, 400mm of effective armor. And your lower plate, or lower upper plate, is like 380mm of protection. Your side armor is 152mm thick. You can side scrape with this thing. I don't know why you would side scrape, but if you need to, you can, because even angling very sharply, it's like 200 effective angle, 57.6 angle, and it's still like 300mm protection you have there. So yes, you can side scrape in this thing. Don't worry about it. However, if they hit the very ass end of your tank, like where the engine would be, it's an auto pen, unless you're angling very, very sharply. But yeah, be weary of that. What else did I fail to mention before I go any further? The view range is 390. The equipment I have for this game that you're watching right now is optics, gun rammer, and vents. I took off the vents and instead put a large spall liner just to protect myself from gay Hesh rounds from the Death Star and Shit Barn, because I don't want 400 to 700 damage being shelled off me each and every time I get shot by one. So yeah. That also increases the protection to your crew by 30%, and with the added bonus, is it 30% crew protection that you get from the large repair kit, or is it 20? I'm pretty sure it's 30, so that's 60%, and with the added bonus of having pain tolerance for a crew skill, I believe it goes up to like 80% or 90% protection with your crew, or for your crew, sorry. But yeah, with already dicking on this thing, it's... unless he hits, like, your roof at a retarded angle with, like, a Conquer gun carriage, a CGC, he's not going to pen you. Because even at, like... well, he might, actually. Yeah, even angling this thing, it's 67 degrees of angle. Your roof is an auto ricochet at 170 millimeters of protection. So, yeah, it's not that big of a deal, but just have everything you can to prevent your crew from dying, and this thing is practically invincible. Again, unless you get encircled by mediums, or heavies, or whatever the hell it may be. Not a frontline tank, definitely a sniper. It plays just like the Tortoise, except now you have armor to work with against those premium, or, yeah, against those heat and APCR slinging heavies and mediums in Tier 9, not being able to auto-pen you, which is phenomenal. So, that's great. I really like this thing. It's really great hull down. It's still slow. If you don't like slow tanks, there's a good chance you're not going to like this tank. And if you see your own tank appear in the enemy's position, let me just rephrase that. If you see an enemy Badger staring at you, face on, and he's hiding his lower plate, and he doesn't have much angle, shoot a premium round in his upper plate, his very lower upper plate, and you should pen 50-50. But other than that, just fling Hesh at him and get closer to him. Or, if you can't do that without, you know, using too much of your HP, then just hide and fling some Hesh at him to do damage. Because otherwise, he's not going to pen you, and you're not going to pen him. So what's the point of advancing if you're going to give away your HP? And, yeah. I've got 7 Hesh rounds on this thing, just in case I run into, like, IS-7s and shit like that are hull down, because you can deal a good amount of damage to them, like 100 damage a shot. It's not a lot, but you can still damage them, and that'll allow them to either panic and rush you, or they'll back off, allowing you to shoot at other targets that you can actually pen. So, yeah, great tank, decent game. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.